You know, a lot's been made about what is called Obamacare and healthcare innovation. But you know, a lot of that is just words for people who don't know how to access services. Our next guest, Brett Andrews, Executive Director of the Positive Resource Center, knows all about what I'm talking about. Brett, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So 10 years you've been doing this work.
Yes, I have.
What is it like running a nonprofit in San Francisco dealing with, with populations that really need help?
Yeah. Well, I've been an executive director for just about 20 years, and I've been with Positive Resource Center for 10 years. And David, it's always the challenge. Whether you're receiving private funding or public funding, it's always chasing the dollars. You and I earlier had a quick conversation about what does San Francisco look like in terms of funding right now. Mm-hmm. And all of the nonprofits are really working hard to try to find a way to educate the millennials, the new folks who are coming into town, the new tech companies that are coming into town, having them to have an understanding of the model of care that we have, the history that has been so rich and well developed. And now that they're interested in living in San Francisco and having to experience San Francisco, there's the good of San Francisco, and then there's the challenging components of it too. And if they really want to be a part of the success of San Francisco, they have to invest. And by investing, they have to give volunteer hours, and they have to pull out their wallet as well.
Talk to me a little bit about, for those people who aren't familiar with Positive Resource Center, the history of the organization, and who is it that you help and how?
Sure. Positive Resource Center, 26 years old, and like many nonprofits, we started in response to the AIDS crisis. So many people were dying of HIV and AIDS and had applied to get disability benefits, and the Social Security Administration, not recognizing AIDS as a disability, denied those claims. So a group of very caring, dedicated volunteers came together around a very noble mission and created an organization called AIDS Benefits Counselors. ABC it was called at the time, based out of the Castro, and helped our clients gain disability benefits, some having to die, but die in dignity. And we've been providing that particular service for 26 years. We added another program in 1996, excuse me, called Employment Services. And that was an idea in many ways whose time had not yet come. It started in '92. It was a part of another organization. That organization wanted to unload that because they really didn't see the future in it. People were still dying.
Well, if people were dying, it's like, I don't need to find a job.
I don't need to find a job. So Positive Resource Center bid for that program. We were successful in gaining that program, and we merged those two programs in 1996 and created Positive Resource Center. So now we have an employment services program. There's the introduction of HAART, of the antiretrovirals in the mid-90s, and now people are faced with 15, 20 years of life and saying to themselves, what do I want to do with the rest of my life?
Yeah, I mean, I remember moving here in the mid-1980s, and San Francisco in general, and the Castro in specific, were a very different place. It was a dark time, and you would meet men, especially in their late 20s, early 30s, and they're like, well, okay, I'm just going to run out my credit card bills. I'm going to be dead in 3 years. And then the antivirals came along, and they're still alive.
That's right. Well, a lot of that came because a lot of folks spent to poverty because they had to in order to receive public benefits. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't just, I'm just going to spend because I only have 6 months. Some of them wanted to live longer, but knew that the only way that they could access full care was to be below a particular poverty level and go into debt.
I mean, how messed up is that?
Yeah, that is messed up. So employment services was a great avenue for those who were interested in, wanted to, and certainly today needing to go back to work and create a viable, self-sustaining, self-sufficient life for themselves.
Right. So now in this, I don't want to say post-AIDS era because we're not there yet, but in this era of people living longer with AIDS, HIV, drugs, extend life, how does Positive Resource Center position itself for the future? I mean, we've still got a lot of people living with AIDS, HIV, and sadly, people still contracting it.
Yeah. I came onto Positive Resource Center in 2003, and we went immediately into a strategic plan. And one of the things that we recognize is that HIV is not a disease that functions all by itself. For a lot of our clients had mental health disabilities and mental health challenges and substance use challenges. So we expanded our mission to serve people with mental health disabilities as well. A lot of the services you'll see have expanded over the years, a lot of our organizations, and it really was about expanding your mission to serve the whole individual. Now that you're living living longer, you're also facing other challenges. So there were housing issues. There were substance use issues. So we have a great network of services, and a lot of the service providers work with each other very closely day over day with so many of our clients. It's important to make sure that the baseline of their lives are stable. When you're housed, when you're employed, when you have financial resources, when you have access to food, you think about yourself a little differently than when you don't have any of those. And those are at the baseline of Maslow's hierarchy of need. We often use that as our model of functionality. So we are busy addressing those, creating strong referral relationships with our clients, and making sure that we meet them for where they are. You know, in some states and in some cities, abstinence is the way for them. We recognize that while that is a model, we also know that it's not the only model. So a harm reduction model, meeting them where they are in their life and working with them for the fullness of who they are, for the richness of their life and their life experience, and trying to figure out how you can use that as a launch pad to success for themselves.
Now, you've got an event coming up in a couple of months in October. It's a celebration and also a fundraiser. Talk to me about that.
It is. We call it WOO, Windows of Opportunity. And Positive Resource Center has been around for 26 years. I'll say this Gala's been going in different incarnations for the last 22 years. It's October the 2nd, Tuesday at Spur, the Urban Center on Mission Street. And for more information, if you want to just come by and support Positive Resource Center, visit our website, www.positiveresource.org. And we just love bringing our stakeholders together, sharing with them the great work that we've done over the year, and to thank folks for the support that they've given us.
Great. Well, thanks for being with us. We look forward to the Gala. And for people who want to know more information about your work and the Gala, they go to
www.positiveresource.org.
Great. Thank you.
Thank
We've
you
been
so much,
speaking
David.
with Brett Andrews of the Positive Resource Center, and to let all of our viewers know out there that this organization helps those people most in need. AIDS isn't over yet. Don't forget it. I'm David Perry. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week on 10%.